everybody. Welcome to the 175th episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm swell. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How is Rhino up there in the Great White North?
Doing phenomenal.
Is it great and white right now, or is it?
It's great and sunny and hot as shit.
Great, sunny, and hot as shit. Doesn't have the same ring to it. Mello, how you doing, buddy?
I don't think they know what hot is
I
up
was going
there.
to say.
They do.
We know exactly what hot is.
It's a
Actually,
different hot.
They weren't hot like we were today.
It was sweltering. We were down here
It
in the
was-
pit here
it
in
was
Florida.
92 today. Where I was at 92.
I
99.
really do think it. Well, yeah, it was freaking hot here, but I think the humidity is a little bit different for us than up there. Not negating your hot, but when we were in Texas, we're like, it's going to get 100 degrees. It felt like a 80-degree day. I was like,
So we do have the humidity you guys have. I mean, it's not as consistent, but today the humidity was 93% and
Yeah.
it was 92.
I'm telling you.
So we were a couple degrees behind you guys.
It's easy 100 degrees today. It
Yeah.
probably felt like 110.
Yeah.
It was squelching.
The feels like I think here was 103 where I was at. 102.
Well, the feels like here was 104. What do you think about that? Anyway,
No, I'm just saying, like we're not here, but like we're like
Yeah.
here.
right? No, it does get hot up there for sure, and that's unfortunate. I'm really sorry. I wish it was cold. I wish it was cold here. I wish it was that 1 week of the year where it gets cold.
1 week? You mean 1 or 2 days that we get here?
This year was pretty good, though. You got to admit, this
Yeah.
weather this winter was pretty primo down here.
It
Oh,
got okay for maybe 2 weeks. Anyway, let's get down to it. This was a big week. Spoiler alert. We are talking about Deadpool. We are talking spoilers at the end of the episode, and I will give you your fair warning if you've not seen Deadpool yet. We are also going to be talking about the things that were announced at Hall H for the Marvel panel. It is a busy Marvel week. So
All Marvel.
you don't
It's all
want to
Marvel.
hear any. It is all Marvel today. Sorry, there's not much more to talk about. I mean, there's just nothing but Superman updates, and it's just shots of set that they're doing, and really not much more to talk about. I think actually they're almost wrapped filming, so there you go. We talked about something DC. Congratulations, DC fanboys. We love you.
Actually, can I real quick? I apologize. Can I just very quickly?
Sure.
Old boy from the boys, Quaid,
Quaid.
came out that
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid came out that he auditioned for. I can't even say it without laughing. He auditioned for Superman, for James Gunn's DCU Superman.
I mean,
Who's Jack
get in the
Quaid?
gym. He's Huey.
Jack Quaid he's Huey. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's got the haircut for it, and that's it, and about it. He's got the haircut and maybe like the face for it, but I don't know about anything else.
That jaw's not chiseled as it should be if you're Superman.
Well, I can see why he didn't get it. Seeing
I
the
think
guy.
the best part of his entire existence would be like his awkwardness for Clark Kent.
Yeah,
His awkwardness for Clark Kent, that would have been great, but that's about it.
yeah.
All right, so before you get into Marvel, I saw the movie just a couple hours ago.
Just a couple hours ago.
Right.
We're
And I
not
was
spoiling.
watching- No, it's not about the movie.
Let's go.
I was watching the trailers, and I saw the trailer
Oh.
for Borderlands. That looks fun.
Really,
Yeah.
Borderlands looks fun.
it has gotten
It looks fun.
a unanimous bad review. People have been talking bad about it. I'll reserve my judgment. I don't really know how to feel about it. But speaking of trailers, if we're going to talk about anything, the Alien Romulus is the name of it.
Meh.
Yeah.
It's definitely got no big name actors, and and it has that kind of old classic Alien feel to it.
And that's one of the things I was going to say. Does it always have to be a woman every time to deal with aliens?
Well, it's 2024, bro. What do you think?
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's not true because like the original one, there was a woman that the thing came out of its
Ripley.
stomach, and in Prometheus, the same thing. It came out of the woman too. So it's just what happens. I'd rather
I
see
think you meant the main character.
Yeah.
Daisy.
No.
what's
We just know that's what
It's
he's saying. It is always a female lead. Isn't that weird? I don't know. Isn't that
It's to me when I watch this
First-
trailer, it's just a regurgitation. It's the exact same movie as the original.
What I was getting at is it almost seems like a
It's a bunch of people who stumble upon a ship that's infested with the aliens, and they have no idea what they're in for. And then all of a sudden, oh hey, a fucking xenomorph pops out. I should probably try and fight back. It's just a regurgitation. There's
What do
nothing
we
exciting
do?
about
How
it.
do we deal with this? Oh my God, they're deadly. Oh my God, they have so many ways to kill us.
Yeah, there's nothing new or exciting about it. It's
There's
just another
always-
alien movie.
Here's the one shot that's in every alien movie since the dawn of existence. You ready? No. Well, yes, that for sure.
But that mouth
But
was even
there's
more
always
crazy this
a female who's looking like just shocked, and they're not looking directly into the camera. They're looking shocked and off camera as an alien slowly rises up behind them, and they
it's dripping shit off of its tongue's tongue.
Yep.
yeah, and that's every alien movie. But that being said, it looked a little bit more stylish, a little bit scary, more of the horror genre than just action. So I don't know. We'll see.
Really good special effects. I'm gonna give it the chance. It's an alien movie. Of course, I'll try.
See, if it were me, I would have where Alien versus Predator left off with the half predator, half alien.
Yeah,
Where's that thing at?
right.
Instead of aliens,
We
like,
all
where's
wanted that. We
hybrid?
all wanted
Where's
to see
that
what
at?
did, yeah.
that actually ended up dying in the other Alien versus Predator Requiem. So that thing was the main antagonist in that one, and the Predator killed it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, that was one of those movies that you probably said, I'm not watching that.
No, honestly, I've watched every
One of the
Predator
billion.
movie.
Really?
Every Predator movie, bro. It's one of my
Boy.
freaking things. Like
Predator's my jam.
Hey,
My
real quick. Predator or Alien?
Predator.
Predator all day.
Predator.
I'll take the engineers out of all of them.
Okay, so
Oh,
fine.
that was an option.
That's why.
Let's hear it, Rhino. What's yours?
Predator for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Long Tail Sally has a place in my heart every time
Long
I hear
Tail.
that song. Every time.
Yeah.
It wasn't
don't
a
know.
comic book movie trailer, but the James McAvoy movie trailer. that they
Okay,
had
hold on,
beforehand.
Seven Lamb fans, guys at home. So I was in a show for Seven Lamb called The Stone House. It was Story Part 2. And there have been so many people emailing us over that movie with James McAvoy.
No shit.
Because there are 5 or 6 points that came from our podcast that are in that movie.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
That's
especially
crazy.
like, so in our show, spoiler alert, the kid had his tongue cut out by my character, and that's why he can't talk. And they show up to this one. It's like, oh, the kid's having speech issues, and they show him doing this, like somebody cut my tongue out. We have so many emails about, hey, this is Stonehouse, bro. Somebody ripped you off.
Listen,
Yeah, it's
I'm not an
crazy.
Oh my
attorney,
god, that's just
but I
crazy.
pretend to be one on this podcast.
That's
Y'all
just
need to go ahead and hit Netflix for Cop Doctors.
Yep.
Go
They
ahead. and hit
did.
these
So we did
people
Cop
for
Doctors, and we'd been doing
Yeah.
Cop Doctors long before this, and then Netflix came out with Medical Police, and
Which was
they
awful.
literally had a tagline from a couple of our shows that were directly from the stuff that we had. It was like, you should sue Netflix. It's like, to what end? Why
They'll-
would it matter?
They'll just throw you a couple
Hey, just
bucks.
throw me some money and I'll go away. That's cool.
But it's not. But the point is the
Give me my own
intellectual
special.
property that you borrowed or didn't know.
Well,
That's
that's
cool,
the
though.
thing is, it's almost impossible to prove.
See,
Right.
the same thing happens in rap music, like because you're at a point now where everyone samples everybody.
Yeah.
Shit, impossible.
You get to a point where there's like creativity saturation, where
Right.
you can argue like there's so much that the human brain can create at this point. Of course, we're gonna accidentally steal somebody's shit.
Hey, you
It's still
on
honorable that
on
they
record
just ripped
first.
you off, though. Like they took your ideas and made a movie. I
Well,
mean, it
you could
sucks.
argue that it was
sucks, but-
similar, but not the exact same.
Right,
That's the problem.
that you can't say
But if
anything.
there's
It's
too
just-
much similar to it, it doesn't matter. You can still
right,
get 'em.
so it's a Scottish guy who ends up being crazy, bringing and slowly killing, or going crazy on an island and trying to kill people that are there. That's the premise of Stonehouse. I play the Scottish guy that tries to kill. Well, he does kill one dude, and the other one is he cuts the kid's tongue out
Mhm.
and acts like that's his son, and he slowly but surely goes from a nice guy to somebody who's completely insane.
Which is
That's the
kind of
best.
what this movie is exactly.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's his kid or if it's somebody
It's
he
not
gets.
his
You
kid.
don't know.
No, it's not. But anyway, that's,
Even in the movie?
so we've heard about this
Dude.
already.
Okay, then fuck you. Where's my money, McAvoy?
See, I told you. I'm
Where's
suing.
our? Well, not our. I mean, where's Jack and Rob's money?
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on from trailers because I do want to talk about. So speaking of things that I'm not a fan of, I'm gonna just rip the Band-Aid off, and we're gonna talk about the biggest news that happened at San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of cool things happened, and I will keep an open mind. But initially, I'm very upset. First of all, if you don't know anything about this, I'm sure you will. Spoilers for what happened at San Diego Comic-Con. They unveiled, good thing, that the Russo brothers are coming back. Hell yeah.
Both
And it-
movies.
26 and in the following Secret Wars movie. But they changed the name of this one from Kang Dynasty to Doomsday. So the official switch from Kang the Conqueror to Doctor Doom is not rumored. It's happening. That is the thing. And who did they announce to play Victor Von Doom? None other than Robert Downey Jr. Now, let me start by saying this, and then I'll open up the floor if that's okay, gentlemen. I love Robert Downey Jr. I know there is a variant of Iron Man that becomes Doctor Doom, or Doctor Doom pretends to be Iron Man. I know there's an iteration of this in the comics. This just, to me, feels lazy.
Mhm.
It feels like Marvel was like, what can we do? You remember that old commercial? I've talked about it on this show before, where they're like, we need to do a new promo for the NFL. And they had just done this big campaign with nothing but Don Cheadle. And the guy goes, Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
This feels like that. What can we do? We can't get anybody. Oh, wait. We'll bring Robert Downey Jr. back because everybody loves him, but we'll make him Doctor Doom. And I just am like, this is one of those things where he ends up being a variant, and this is just one of those off stories, and he doesn't play the prime Doom. Great.
He's playing Doom for both the big Avengers movies, though. So he actually is playing the biggest Doom we're gonna get. Because after the Avengers movies, it's Galactus.
I just don't see why you would do that. This to me, so we had Deadpool, we've had all these things that are coming that look positive, and then I saw this, and I was like, what? Why the fuck? It just seems to me that was the biggest MCU is dead moment.
Disney's a bunch of pussies. They should have just kept fucking Jonathan Majors and kept going on with their story the way they had it.
No, but even if you don't keep Majors, this is lazy on all aspects. RDJ said he wouldn't come back if they didn't get the Russo brothers to direct these two movies. I was reading it on multiple sources online. It was basically his only stipulation was that he played a villain and that the Russo brothers directed the movie. And if that's the case, not only are you, in my opinion, are lazy, but you're scared. It's fear. What are people going to eat up? What are people going to gobble? They'll gobble up RDJ because of Iron Man. Nah, that's afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid to progress, to even try anything new, because everything new they've tried sucked. So you know what? Let's go to Old Faithful. I think this was a bad move, but I'm curious, did anybody like it at all?
I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'll save it for later.
So
Spoilers.
I know the gentleman to the top right hand corner of our screen is opinionated about RDJ and Iron Man. Let's hear what you have to say.
So first of all, I'm genuinely shocked that I'm playing devil's advocate on this, because you guys know how I feel about shit like this in particular. However, with that being said, I love the move. Absolutely love that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to play Doom, and here's why. First of all of the arguments that they can't get someone else to play him is horse shit. Absolute fucking horse shit, because they're about to pay Robert Downey Jr. $100 million to do 2 movies.
Well,
You mean to tell me?
hold on, let me cut you off before you go on that. Nobody said they couldn't get somebody to play Doom.
That's what Nello just said.
Well, no. Well, so
They couldn't get anybody else, so they went with Robert Downey Jr.
No.
That's what Nello
not,
said.
That's not what I said.
That's not what he said.
Yeah, the spirit of what he said is, why couldn't you go get anybody else? You had to go.
Oh no, so all right. So
the only reason the Russo brothers are directing is because RDJ said, I will only come back if I'm a villain and if the Russo brothers direct these two.
yeah, which I got that point, but you had made the comment they couldn't get anybody else. So I just wanted to make sure that is not the case, because they could have gotten anybody they wanted to.
Hold on, what I think he's
That's what I'm saying.
is someone who also like that people care about, which will make the movie not a fail.
I get that. I get that point. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't saying couldn't, as in like they couldn't get
They
Cavill, or they couldn't get this person, or couldn't get that person,
Cavill
because
wasn't
that's
the right
not the case.
I think
However, I do enjoy the transition of a variant character that's a different kind of character, because we haven't had that. And what has Marvel failed with more than anything throughout its entire history?
But you need
They
an
have-
original character.
Hold on. Just let me finish my point. I let you talk. Let me finish mine.
Go ahead.
What has Marvel failed with more than anything throughout its entire history since day one? They have failed with villains. Big time. Yes, Thanos was incredible.
So,
Thanos was absolutely incredible, but they failed with Ultron. They have failed several times with other villains where you could have kept them going. You could have had a completely different story. You could have had somebody just knock that out of the park other than maybe Loki. Loki was great when he was a villain. Robert Downey Jr., we have never seen him play a character, at least in recent memory, this millennium even, where he's evil. He's bad. We've all talked about how great of an actor he is, right? Why can't he play a villain? Why can't he be the guy that knocks us out of the park still? Just because we associate him with another character doesn't mean we can't enjoy him as somebody different, right? Yes, he was Iron Man for the longest time. I get that. I loved him as Iron Man. Iron Man is my favorite Marvel character. But he can still knock this out of the park. They can still make this transition perfect.
I don't think the problem is him being able to knock it out of the park. I don't think anybody's arguing Robert Downey Jr.'s ability as an actor or how compelling he is at all. Nobody is. I just think it's not so much that, but for the backside, for Disney, for the producers, it's a marketing thing. We can market Robert Downey Jr. Sure, he has to be a villain, but he could play anything he wants and be excellent at it. Nobody would dispute that. But the fact that they could have had somebody else and make Doom his own thing, because now you have characters, in my opinion, and this is obviously, it's all our opinion, so none of it really is factor, none of it really matters. You have these icons, and having them played by somebody else who is traditionally known as something else, to me, puts that character that they're playing second in a back seat. This is my own way that I perceive it. Not saying that's what they're doing, but you're taking a A1 tier character like Doctor Doom, and you have Tony Stark, Iron Man, everybody's favorite. We're going to take this guy and just have him just play this guy. To me, it feels lazy.
yeah.
Because you have this incredible character that deserves that kind of respect. Now, if RDJ didn't play Iron Man and he was signing up to play Doom, I'm on the rooftop shouting that I want my tickets now. Bring me to the movies. But it's just the fact that, to me, it feels lazy to say, oh, you guys like the Russo brothers? Well, guess what? They're back. You guys liked RDJ? Well, guess what? He's back. And it's nothing to do with the narrative, the character. It just feels like I'm being played here as a fan of Marvel.
Yep.
Amen.
Especially the way they sent him out. Like I said, I've always had an issue with the way they ended it, making RDJ the fucking hero, even though he shouldn't be. And now
He still wants Nebula to come back or Adam Warlock to come
Adam
back
Warlock
and be the hero.
fucking Captain Marvel. Let's go.
It's not like
And then
All right, go ahead.
also you said that we don't have good villains. Ultron to me was fucking awesome. He was just written poorly. Like we had who was it? Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan was excellent as Killmonger.
the Red Skull was really good too.
But that's where I was saying they have failed with villains. It's not that the villains themselves weren't good. It's what they did with them was horrible.
So like now that you
I
know
would agree with that.
RDJ is only
I'd
going to
agree
be
with
in
that.
2 movies, it's kind of like meh. I would have rather seen somebody.
Well, he's signed up for 2 now. I mean, it obviously depends on the reception he gets. He could come back for more.
But like Henry Cavill to me would have been fucking awesome. Man.
Me
I don't know.
saying.
If
He would have been great. I'm not arguing that in the slightest bit. But I think there's a transition here. But here's the thing too. How long can we go with the same shit from Marvel where it's all right, new story, new villain, new story, new villain, new story, new villain? Like it's gonna saturate itself. It's gonna get boring. Now all of a sudden you throw a wrench in the engine. We have a twist to it. We have a guy who was this character.
see that
His
feels
variant is now this. It's something different.
That's the
Well,
whole.
but hold on. You're arguing it's the different, but it's the same. At the
Yeah.
same time.
It's not the same. It's not the same though because he's a different person now.
Those credits at the beginning will look the same.
But I think there's an aspect to it where like we're looking at what we perceive as Tony Stark. We're looking at what we perceive as the shining knight of the MCU so far. But now all of a sudden he's killing people.
Here's what I'll take. Here's what I would accept and be okay with. If we get a traditional Victor Von Doom where it is not RDJ's face, that he wears that metal mask because he looks like Victor Von Doom, who's been fucked up beyond all recognition. And he wears the mask. He's the voice. He plays the character. That Doctor Doom is literally that metal mask, green hood. I'll take that. That, and then they're just talking about a performance, and I'm like, okay, that'll be fantastic. I would not mind seeing that. Then let's direct it and have it. But if you need to show his face and show that he's Iron Man, and so many people going, oh my God, Tony, I'm just like, this is fucking bullshit to me.
That's the point. You took the originator of the Marvel world and you made him a villain. It's not like you took Josh Brolin, who was in 3 movies as Thanos, or 4, whatever it was, a few cameos here and there, and you made him a good guy in Cable. That's different. This is the originator of this timeline, this universe, whatever. You're starting off the story of Victor Von Doom and the Fantastic Four with the fact that it's a variant of Tony Stark. You're not even giving me an original Von Doom. You're not saying, well, Fantastic Four is first, and you're going to get the real Doom, and then this is just a spin-off movie a la Deadpool or a la, I don't know, Ms. Marvels or whatever the heck you want to call it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now here's my other thing too. What universe is this supposed to take place in if he's the guy? Like he's not Iron Man anymore. So like the Doctor Doom, what universe is that in?
Yeah.
That we've seen? Do we have anybody in there that we give a shit about?
You needed to instill
Where did he come from?
That is a good question.
Like Doctor Doom just pops up. Hey, I'm Doctor Doom now. No, I used to be Iron Man, but I snapped. I am Iron Man.
That's why I'm
now.
saying if
Came
it's
back
not
again.
his face, if it's
know what I
not
mean?
him,
But how are you going to? They already showed his face saying, I am Dr. Doom. They're
That's
gonna
San
do
Diego
it.
Comic-Con.
Right.
That's for pageantry and for them to get to shout and scream at Hall H, which I get that. And you don't cast RDJ and not announce it.
You can't have Dr. Doom without Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Maybe
I
him
disagree.
in a
I disagree.
Different realm.
I think you totally can.
The whole point is now again, you are the royalty of the nerd world at this podcast, so I'm going to ask you. The whole reason Dr. Doom was created, if I'm not mistaken, was he wanted to talk. He created some sort of machine or some sort of apparatus, and he wanted to talk to his dead moms.
Well, let's. You want to say that the whole connection to the Fantastic
Right.
Four is the big deal. Dr. Doom is one of those guys. Yes, he is most commonly associated with the Fantastic Four. He is also one of those guys that transcends any of that. I don't need I don't need the Fantastic Four to be there to absolutely fanboy over Dr. Doom showing up on screen. Don't need it.
He's a top 5 Marvel villain ever.
I think he's a top 5 Marvel character ever.
Yeah. I mean, he's up there with the likes of Thanos. I mean, that's what level character he is when it comes to being a villain in Marvel. He doesn't need the Fantastic Four. He's gone up against the Avengers. He's gone up against the X-Men. He's gone up against everybody. So it doesn't matter what team you have going against him.
Yeah, and for me, he's up there. Like, you name a hero, name any character you want in Marvel. I think Dr. Doom is up there with them.
100%.
The same concept of Reed Richards and Doom, the same thing as Magneto and Xavier.
No.
If you watch the movies, yeah.
Yeah,
but even in the comics,
still in
right?
the comics,
No.
Let me tell you this: nowadays, with today's fans, if Magneto shows up in any comic, people are going to go, "I know who that is." Sure, they'll go, "Yeah, he fights Xavier," but they're not going to go, "Well, he can't be here."
But I mean, he doesn't even really fight Xavier. He's just out there trying to get it for his.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't fight
Correct.
Xavier a whole lot at all. Period.
But
he quarrels with them. But
this is not. It's not like a peanut butter and jelly situation where you can't have one without the other, especially when it comes to characters like Doom. So now, could he show up from an alternate universe? Shit, yeah. And he's powerful enough and smart enough to do that, to where if his character was to open up a space hole in time and go, by the way, I'm Doom, I'm here and I'm conquering, I'd be like, that makes sense. You don't need to explain more. That's Dr. Doom. I get it.
Honestly, now that you just said that, it makes it a lot easier for me to stomach that.
Yeah. Now, if that's what he does, because there's like this whole, hey, now here's the thing. Hey, something's happened. And I want to circle back to this. Let's circle this when we talk about Deadpool later, because I want to come back to it. Dr. Doom showing up and being that important is doable. And it could be he's from another reality. We just talked about Agatha Harkness. She's in a completely different reality from 616. She's dealing with Wanda and shit that's happening. So for somebody to come from another reality to the 616 has been happening since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That I'm okay with.
Yeah.
We just brought in Deadpool. He's not 616.
which we'll get into. Next thing I want to talk about is Thunderbolt showed up at San Diego Comic-Con. They introduced the entire cast. that was really cool to see David Harbour getting into it and introducing the entire team as Red Guardian.
That was dope. I saw that video.
There's been talk of, and please feel free to jump in anytime if you saw anything, or you have any questions or want to just comment. Rumor has it that there will be a fight scene between the Sentry and Bucky Barnes.
Now, you want to talk about bullshit that isn't believable, that isn't worth watching? That is a fight scene that is probably the most far-fetched in the MCU history so far.
Well, that's very true. Sentry
could blink and would annihilate Bucky Barnes. That is just asinine.
I think we're going to get a juvenile version of Sentry, and I don't mean juvenile as in a child. I think we're going to get a brand new Sentry who doesn't know really what all he can do. Maybe
we watched Spider-Man School.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying for what we're going to get from that, we're not talking comic accuracy. We're talking about the movie. So I'm thinking, like, if we're going to see a fight like that,
there is no comic accuracy in this new Marvel phase.
None of the Thunderbolts are going to be able to hang with Sentry, period. Nor should they. But
as a collective, maybe.
Right. Well, no, not even honestly.
But in the movie, I'm assuming they have to beat him somehow.
Without Red Hulk, I don't see them being able to hang with Sentry for
Sentry's not going to be a bad guy in anything. He's probably going to be a misunderstood character like
Vision?
Adam Warlock was, but he's not going to be a bad guy in the slightest bit.
Here's my comparison for how Sentry and the Thunderbolts is going to go down. This is going to be, oh my God, Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League when Black Suit Superman comes back.
Yeah, pretty much.
They all show up to fight Black Suit Superman. This is going to be the Thunderbolts showing up to fight Sentry.
Is it? I was reading that Bucky's the leader.
Honestly, yeah. I wanted it to be Yelena. I really like her character. I think Florence Pugh is a better lead than Sebastian Stan. No offense, Sebastian, but she is arguably the #1 star in this movie. She's the biggest actress, or she's the biggest actor in that movie.
See, to me, like
we talked about this though, but Sebastian Stan has MCU seniority.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm all for
and I think that's the factor that's the most important factor in this, is that he's got the MCU seniority. He's been Winter Soldier for so long. He's been that character for so long that they have to give it to Sebastian Stan over Yelena.
See, Yelena to me is just. It's
fine. Make him the leader of the team, but focus on her more because she's.
I would love that. I would love that.
But also, here's the other thing that I was thinking about with that is Bucky has also been a soldier. He's been somebody who's done stuff like this. So to look at, if you're looking at resumes and who you want to lead the Thunderbolts and not who the actor or actress is playing the character, Bucky makes sense.
He's also
big time.
Yelena's age and has a lot more experience.
That's what I'm saying. We also got to see a little bit more about.
Hold on, he doesn't have an arm anymore.
Yeah, he does.
No, he does.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Hello. Hold on.
No,
I know you guys are forgetting the Christmas special, the Guardians Christmas special.
Rocket's got his arm.
Oh boy.
So the vibranium arm is gone. He may have the old school silver Russian arm back.
I'm pretty sure my boy T'Challa hooked him up with a few spares.
Let's hope.
Yeah, so. I'm sure he's gonna get a vibranium arm of some kind back.
Have we seen what Bucky looks like?
Yeah, he's got a kind of a crew cut now. He doesn't have the long hair. He doesn't have the mask.
There's the same crew cut he had in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Captain America.
He needs that long hair and that mask just to look menacing.
I dig it. But so what else did we see? Oh, we found out who Giancarlo Esposito is playing.
So they didn't get rid of
it. It is confirmed. He is playing. I forget his name off the top of my head. But
right?
Gustavo.
Yeah, that's it. He's playing the leader of the Serpent Society.
GW George Washington Carver.
Yeah, the guy who invented the
peanuts
and the cotton gin.
That's him. That's who's coming to take on Captain America. Although the leader is the main antagonist of that movie, make no mistake, with Red Hulk being in it, the Serpent Society being in it. The Serpent Society, every time they show up in a comic, I feel like they're just written as a joke. They're written to look like supervillains.
They're written to lose. They're written to lose.
They're written to lose in every instance.
Yep.
I'm interested to see how they try to make the Serpent Society look with him walking up with a trench coat and guns and all that. Like, I was kind of like, okay. I'd like to see the traditional Serpent Society because to me, I mean, the old school comic costumes like everybody's been talking about with Wolverine in the yellow and blue, that's what I want. So I don't know, but anyway,
knowing the MCU, I guarantee you the way they play it is that the person who started the Serpent Society is a branch off of Hydra.
Sure.
It'll be somebody that left Hydra or somebody that fell out with Hydra and they started the Serpent Society, and then that's how they infiltrate.
I don't doubt that at all, and that would not be that would make sense for
Yeah.
MCU. Last thing that they talked about. Oh man, what am I forgetting?
We saw the Fantastic Four ship. fly out.
Fantastic Four first step. So we got the title, and we for the first time saw the cast together. Not really much to report from that, but it looks
And the
good.
ship.
There's that little map of Manhattan that they released
I sent Rhino
online.
this article about like Mole Man. I have no idea who that is. You
Mole
said-
Man.
So Mole Man. Listen, I know you don't know who he is, so I'm being very respectful when I say this.
Okay.
Mole Man is a Marvel OG.
is.
He's been around since almost day one of the Fantastic
He's
Four.
another OG joke character in my opinion.
He is a joke character, but he has been there since day one. And I would be willing to bet that he is not the serious antagonist in this storyline at all.
Absolutely not.
I-
Absolutely not.
I think he's a side protagonist or antagonist, excuse me.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
who wasn't in Hall H? Blade.
Blade.
We told you.
We'll get back to it.
We're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to that.
Blade has had a lot of comments lately, but I'm starting to be Team Ryan for this. Like, I don't really care. I don't want to hear it. But
Right.
other things that happened. Oh, Daredevil Born Again is going to D23. We will see our first trailer for
Yep.
Daredevil there, and we should get the first trailer from the Thunderbolts in the coming days. We should see that very soon. So it's exciting, man. We do have a lot of projects going for Marvel, so that'll be nice. But let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with a little bit of a discussion piece on trilogies in the MCU to kind of see where things go from here. So we're going to press pause, and we will be right back. Pause. And we're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk
Wait a minute.
trilogy.
Wait a
shall
minute.
we?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
God.
Before
This is
we
important.
came back on here, somebody was running his jazz mouth about beating Penn State in the NCAA tournament. So this tournament amongst us is happening, okay? And when I whoop the Indians' ass, and then I whoop
Indians.
the elephant's ass, and then I whoop a beaver's ass, you guys can crown me.
I'm not an Oregon fan.
What's Minnesota? Badgers?
He's not a Minnesota
Wisconsin?
fan.
What's Wisconsin? The
The
Badgers?
Badgers.
I'm not a Wisconsin fan. I'm a Bama fan.
Can't be Bama. You're in the Great White North. Stop fucking sucking.
Hey,
You know what?
You're in Florida and you like Penn State.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
What?
this will be happening, and yes, we
I
will
was born in
You know
definitely
what?
Pennsylvania.
post
You know
the
what?
results.
You know what I want? Remember the Little Giants?
Yeah.
Remember what the brothers bet when they had their names on the water tower?
Uh-huh.
After I beat your ass, bro, I wanted to say Tony Nello's and the black guy.
I can't put it on a big sign, but I'll put it on the
can
door
put it on
for
the
a
big
day.
sign. There you go.
I'll put it on the door for a day.
Your dad.
At least have like a rib special.
What is this racial appropriation?
What is it? There's a black guy on the door. Anyway, okay. Moving on, shall we? We were talking about trilogies because the MCU does love them some trilogies. And you, Rhino, brought this up, said it would be cool to try to rank them and kind of see where they land. And of the qualifying franchises with trilogies, we have in alphabetical order. Hold on, I had it that way. Let me look it back up. Sorry. There we go. Just so we don't spill anything. In alphabetical order: Ant-Man, The Avengers, Captain America, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Thor. Those are all of the franchises with 3 movies, and we wanted to try and rank them. So of
Hold on,
all
this
of them,
can't be
should
over.
we start bottom to top?
Is
What?
Deadpool considered a
I'd say
trilogy now
Deadpool.
that movie?
No, because the first 2 weren't MCU, so you can't include them in the MCU
Kind of the way
conversation.
I looked at it. That's kind of the way I looked at it. I think after we've discussed Deadpool, we could see where he lands on this.
Yeah, I like that. I like
Is it-
that.
It'll retroactively be canon, and I don't want to give anything away about the movie just yet. So, where, geez, how do we start? Do we start from the bottom to the top, or the top to the bottom?
Guardians is
Let's stop. Let's start top
Go
to bottom
back.
because I think number 1 is going to be the same for everybody.
I
Can
don't
we just
know.
go to the bottom? The bottom's
Yeah.
going to be the
let's,
same.
Let's start at the top. Shall
I'll rock,
we?
scissors, paper you for it.
Start at the top. All right. So we'll go around my metaphorical room here because I have you here in front of me. And we'll start with me. The top entry for me, Guardians of the Galaxy, number one. Far and away.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was gonna be his.
What are you, drunk? Have you been drinking?
I'd like
No.
to hear your number one.
Iron Man.
Okay, there we go.
Tony Stark's
No
fucking
further
man.
questions, Your
Tony
Honor.
Stark is the man.
Ryan, no.
Guardians.
Guardians number one.
Excuse me. Well, all right. Hold on. Does Avengers count because there's been 4 of them?
Oh yeah,
No.
Avengers. Yeah. Avengers
Well,
count.
then Avengers. Avengers is number 1.
Not for me. But okay, Ryan.
Since Mr. Poole is no longer on the list.
He's your number one. Oh
absolutely.
my word. Oh
It makes
my
sense.
word.
It makes sense.
Followed by, so for me, it would probably be Avengers.
He does well, but he is not number one for me, even if we were to throw him in.
I
There.
agree.
But Guardians for me, I just felt there was not a single
Not
bad
one bad movie.
weren't bad plot lines.
For
All of
me,
the
2
characters
is-
were
ugh.
compelling. 2 was great. Also, I've got daddy issues, so maybe that's why I liked it so much.
2 and 3 were weak.
I
in
just
my
thought
opinion.
I thought that 3 was weak. 3 was the best movie the MCU has put out. Period.
Oh man, somebody get him.
Other than the Avengers movies, yes.
I was higher.
Other
Somebody give him
than
a drug test.
Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So yeah. You think that you're pissed off about number 1? You guys are gonna hate number 2.
Number 2 for me is Guardians. That's number 2 for me.
Number 2 for me is Captain America.
Ooh, I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
You're so right.
Yeah, the first one was the first time we saw super soldiers, and that was sick. And then the second one, we've got the introduction of True Blue Shield, Hydra, and like that big battle. It was espionage. It was so many factors, and Captain America looked mortal for a second, right? But he also it's just such a perfect movie. And
That's
then
the best of the trilogy.
and then 3 we have Civil War, and Civil War
The
to me
villains
was
in
so
Captain
good.
America have been the best.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay, who's your number 2, Ryan?
Surprisingly, my number 2 is also Captain America.
Hey,
All right.
Oh, we were gonna hate it.
I did. I really did. Number 3 for me. I don't think there's any other choice
Actually?
but
Hmm.
Avengers. Avengers for me, because after those 2, it is a steep drop off.
Actually, I have to change that. It's Spider-Man for me.
Spider-Man. Okay.
Spider-Man.
Number 3 for me is Cap, because there was no bad movie. One had a couple dull moments, but every movie's had a couple dull moments.
And that was to me. It was Cap 1 had dull moments.
Yes.
Cap 1 had dull moments. Cap 2, in my opinion, is a top 5 MCU movie ever.
Big time.
That's Civil
In the
War.
Winter Soldier. That's Winter
I
Soldier.
want to
Yep,
disagree
yep.
with that.
Oh, that's
so
right,
bad.
there's
I
those-
can't.
yeah.
Yeah. So Cap is number 3 for me for sure. Nello.
For me, for Avengers, the reason I thought
I agree.
Avengers was number 3 was because not every hero really, to me, gets their moment to shine. And I think of Ultron because Thor was gone for 2/3 of that movie on his soul searching quest. I mean, sure, he
Yeah,
was up in grandiose faction in the end, but the focus wasn't always on the Avengers in those movies. Sometimes you want to talk about dull moments other than Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, again, the Avengers really only shine as a team in that first movie at the very end. And that's on purpose. But I was kind of like, I don't really know if I care about the Tesseract and Loki doing all this. I want the Avengers. I want to see the team.
I did like
wanna
the
see
Battle
the
of New
squad.
York, though. in
I
that
love
movie.
the Battle of New York. That is a top scene overall, any movie for me. I
Agreed.
thought that was great. But the rest of the movie and the whole, his name was Phil. I love it. I love it. I'm not saying it's bad, but part of that's where I'm kind of like, can we get to the part where the boys get
Exactly.
together and we see some real true blue Avengers stuff? Because they
That's also where they've learned how to escalate a movie, though, in my opinion. I think that first Avengers movie, when you have a mashup, a team up, that was where the MCU was learning how to do a team up.
I don't disagree at all.
So that set the foundation for every movie going forward when you have cameos and shit like that.
All right. I don't. You know what? I love every single movie and every single trilogy on this list. I really do.
Except for
It's like
Ant-Man.
picking which one of your favorite kids. But I'm apparently going to make Nello really upset
Get
with this
the
one.
fuck. No
Because
way.
coming in at number 4
No.
for me.
Damn. Well, I guess number 3, Captain America. For
You
me.
already
know.
said it.
Yeah,
You
you
just
already
said
said
it.
I did. But
Well,
I
goddamn.
was gonna say it made it there because I hate Captain America 1. The entirety of the movie. So
Yeah.
that made my top almost just because of Winter Soldier and because of Civil War. like I said last week when we were here, and you walking in the scene when he was fighting Bucky.
Yep.
Mwah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
Chef's
scenes
kiss.
ever.
And you got the introduction of Falcon there,
Oh yeah.
which is also another great addition to the whole MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 4 for me,
It's Black Falcon.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man.
Oh
Get outta here. Someone check this man's
Listen,
cup. Do you have a cup?
shh, hush now. Hush now. Listen.
Hey man, Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Always finds out. Now, Ant-Man is such a different franchise from anything else in the MCU. Ant-Man doesn't always have to be the big tough guy. He doesn't come out there with 24-inch pythons and beat people's asses. He had heart, he had a family, he had things that he didn't always have to find out the way by just beating the bad guy. I thought the Ant-Man 2 is one of the best movies the MCU has put out there. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That
was great.
Oh.
Thought it was great. Why does it have to end the same way every single superhero movie? Why does it always have to be the same focus for the enemy? And for so that one, that's when Lawrence Fishburne's like, hey, I'm the bad guy here, but let me tell you something. You hurt the little girl. We got problems. I'm not doing this. And I was like, that's a fucking human reaction right there. That's something I can identify with. That's a villain that I'm like, yeah, see, not every villain is going to sit there and go, yes, the world will be mine and I will be the most powerful motherfucker of all time. It just wasn't like that. Now, Ant-Man 3 is the reason this movie is not higher on my list. Ant-Man 3 is a tale of two movies. If you got the second half with just Jonathan Majors and the Ant-Man stuff,
even the villain
Ant-Man
in 2 was bad.
Ant-Man is just
That's
that's
the ghost thing, right?
Ghost and Lawrence Fishburne, yeah, and the
MODOK.
mobsters. No,
MODOK
MODOK was in the third, so that's why Ant-Man is at 4. Because I have absolutely adored Ant-Man. He could have been one of my favorite. He could have been sitting at number 2 on my list if Ant-Man 3 would have not been the dumpster fire that it was. But Ant-Man 1 and 2, swear by it. I could watch that one over and over and over again.
No,
4 for me is Iron Man. Iron Man 1 laid the foundation that is everything we're even talking about right now. Iron Man 2 wasn't bad. Iron Man 3 was meh. But Iron Man is number 4 for me for sure.
Guardians is 4 because of the soundtracks. I love those. The soundtracks of those movies.
The soundtracks are why it's 4, not the story.
No, you wanted my opinion.
Hey,
I could live without never seeing a Guardians movie again and be fine.
Like,
Oh my
to
god,
me,
Guardians 3 is going to be on my always watch list.
Amazing. The special, amazing. 2 and 3, I could live without.
Really?
Yeah.
I still think to this day, Guardians
I agree
3
with him. I
is
agree
the
with him.
best Marvel movie that they have put out. It's a perfect movie.
Let's see.
Start to finish, it was captivating.
5 for
Hold on,
me.
he hasn't said 4.
Yeah,
My number
oh.
4.
He waits till we get to the
Honest-
next one. to
Remember
give
the
us his
time
opinion.
thing? You know, they
My
take
bad.
their time.
Probably Thor, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I would take Thor over all the Iron Man.
Spiked coffee.
Okay.
More enjoyable to me. And then the same with Guardians.
Thor is definitely more your speed of superhero too.
Yeah.
I think you definitely vibe more with a Thor.
Yep.
I dig that.
Numero 5.
Numero 5 for me, Iron Man, for the same exact sentiment that Rhino just said. He started the MCU. He is he's the main man. He's the reason we got all those movies that we had. And Iron Man 2, I liked because of the introduction of War Machine. I really loved him. I think Don Cheadle is an extremely compelling Colonel James Rhodes. I really can't wait to see more from him.
What, man?
Iron Man
Seriously?
3 was more of a it was more of a forgetter for me. I didn't really care for that. The Mandarin, I had high hopes when they said Mandarin. I was like, oh, whoa, Iron Man 3 is coming in for real. And then they got what they got with the Mandarin, which is why I was like, yeah, I don't really care about that.
Numero 5 for me is Spider-Man. None of the Spider-Man movies to me have been bad. I don't know if I'd put,
in my opinion. I agree with you at 5, by the way.
I don't know if I'd put like all of them as like, oh my god, Spider-Man, but none of them have been bad. You know, like Guardians had one okay movie. Ant-Man had a couple bad movies. Iron Man had a bad movie. Spider-Man has not had a bad movie, but they haven't had like, oh my god, this is crazy movies either.
Yeah,
So yeah, number 5 is Spider-Man.
but without Jake Gyllenhaal, it'd probably be lower on the list. He was the best villain I've seen.
Well, in my opinion, I would put the
level-wise.
third one.
Great
I'd
level.
put the third one above the second one, in my opinion.
Numero cinco, 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 cinco.
Numero 5. Oh, this be you or
You, buddy.
I agree
You.
with Rhino. Spider-Man's fine.
Oh, and for me, probably Iron Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Six on the list. Are we going to 6 yet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Spider-Man for the exact same reason that Rhino just said, and for what's going on with Ant-Man, it's kind of the opposite of Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man 1, it was not bad. I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm gonna watch Homecoming again and again and again. Far From Home, I'm gonna disagree with you, Jake Jizenballs. I really didn't care too much. I was like, okay, he's cool, he's compelling. He wasn't the Mysterio that I thought he would be. He wasn't one that I was like, I need to go back and watch. Now, is it cool that they did what they did with him? Yes. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't a movie that I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna write home about this one. And then you get No Way Home, and you get the multiverse and all the villains and people coming back. I was like, this is a sweet movie. That is the best of the trilogy in my humble opinion. And of all of the Spider-Men, Tom Holland's not bad. Tom Holland, he's not Andrew Garfield for me, but I think he is easy to carry it and keep going, and he could one day surpass Andrew Garfield. However, just he's not there for me yet.
Thor is the 6. It's the only reason why Thor is no good is because the character development of Thor is just so jumpy. Thor 2 was amazing. I loved it. Thor 3, I'm not sure what that was. And Thor 1 put me to bed.
Yeah.
That's basically why.
If I had to rank Thor, it would go 2, 3, 1, 4. Easily 2, 3, 1, 4.
They made a 4th Thor?
Yes, of course they did.
We don't
That
talk
was
about
Love
that
and
movie.
Thunder.
We don't talk about
Love
that
and
movie.
Thunder.
What is that?
Yep.
Exactly. So what's your number 6?
My number 6 is going to be Guardians.
Wow.
No,
That soundtrack along is better than 6.
that hurts my heart.
It really does. But you know what? I
Hey,
kind of
listen,
love
I
that.
had to sit here and listen to you guys fucking knock my boy Tom Holland and them all the way down to 5 and 6.
Hey,
It's because
Y'all
Toby's the
fuck right
man.
off.
That's
I get
why.
it. I get it. Hey, listen. I was
Toby is
just
not the
about to make a
man.
comment that I'm glad that our list is not exact in any way, and that's a beautiful thing to me. And I will die on this Ant-Man hill.
And it's funny
You're
'cause for
about
me,
to.
But
part of my thing too is like the movies that I've watched probably the most over and over again, and it's just those movies. Like that's how it goes. Like I'll watch Guardians, but the other two I've never seen more than once.
Yeah. So that brings us to last place. I'm gonna assume Ant-Man for you.
Yeah, it's a
Ant-Man
dumpster
for
fire.
you. Ant-Man for you.
Yeah.
I got Thor at last place. And I'm
can't
going
go
to agree with Rhino's sentiment of 2, 3, 1, 4. But
There's only 3
depending
movies,
on
bro.
what day,
Yeah.
3 and 1 could swap. 1 is just boring.
boring.
It's a boring ass movie.
Yeah, it is. It's very slow developing.
Cool to see Thor. There's a couple of great scenes. Him ripping through the shield encampment, crazy fun. Him finally getting his powers back and going back to Asgard, insanely fun. Everything else in between.
Well, his fight with Loki was
I might
pretty
be
good.
confused. So
That's
one
what I
was
said. I was saying go back to Asgard.
one was snooze fest. What happened in the second one or third
Second one was the Dark Elves.
Okay.
Yeah, Malekith.
And then 3 was his sister Hela.
3 was Ragnarok.
Ooh, man. Now that I think about it, 3 and 2 could swap.
Yeah.
So it,
No,
yeah.
not 2. 2
No.
is
3 and 1 could swap. 2 is by far the best, in my opinion. 2 is by far the best.
Or the Dark World, I think, is the best Thor that they've done. I'm you know what, I'm happy to jump on this train of not talking about Love and Thunder, and that's why 3 and 4 could go. That is when Thor became silly.
Yep.
First of all, he's a
He
character
gave a punchline.
is silly, but he became less of a superhero. He became less the god of thunder and more of the god of the punchline or god of witty banter. And that is not what you see of Thor. Like when you the perfect analogy for this is when you have Infinity War and General Ross comes up and goes to Rhodey, if I had misplaced a couple of 30 megaton nukes, or that was in Civil War rather, if I'd misplaced a couple of 30 megaton nukes, do you think I'd basically, do you think I'd be in trouble if that happened? He's referring to Thor and Hulk. Now looking at Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, he does not fit the profile of a 30 megaton nuke to me.
No.
He's not living up to the billing that the own MCU is giving him. Even in Endgame and Infinity War. Now, is he become a brick shit house at the end of that movie? Absolutely. But he's broken. He's just not, I don't know.
So I'll admit that we had more character development out of Thor in Avengers
Big
than
time.
we did almost any other character. But Thor is not the comic book character that you want to see like character development with that much. Like he's not one of those guys. You know what you're getting out of Thor. You want to see him rip the flesh off of people's bones.
You want to see him laughing at his teammates getting beat up and then show up and be like, the varsity team just arrived.
Yeah, exactly.
Quickly, like my favorite scene in Infinity War when he comes down and like, oh
Yeah, when he comes to Wakanda.
That
Give me Thanos.
is
we wanted.
peak Thor. Give me
Yes,
Thanos.
Give me
And-
Thanos.
Hulk or Mark Ruffalo. You're all screwed now.
Yeah.
That's the Thor you expect. Not, oh, he's a friend from work.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I hated about most about the MCU was their downplay of a lot of people's ability and their power.
Yeah. And I've been an advocate for that before, and I get it.
No,
I mean,
Because
if
you
he's
can't
really
have-
a god, what's he's then
Exactly.
he whenever he gets punched in the face, you just stand there and then boom, it's over. Like you
I
gotta
agree.
do something.
I agree.
But
and I
Ant-Man isn't a trilogy because the third one doesn't matter because Kang doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
No, it doesn't.
It's
He's
just
it's
it's still a good movie.
where, why, how, when?
Michael Pena in that
No,
movie.
Jack is 100% right. The final half of the movie is good. It's just that the whole I should have never brought you guys down here.
Yeah,
I should have never told you about him.
I
Oh my
don't-
god, him.
I
Oh
don't-
my god. Oh my god, this guy.
So fucking terrible. Why would you give her such a huge part of that movie? It was just the most forgettable piece of dog shit.
Yeah.
And then
Ant-Man 3 was a swing and a miss when they had so much potential with
I
it.
can agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Not going to knock that, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that Ant-Man 1 and 2 aren't bangers, aren't knocked out of the park. Anyway,
They're not.
when your expectation of Ant-Man, yes, they were. Anyway, let's move on, right? Let's talk about the
Spoiler time.
Well, but no,
Spoiler time.
Spoiler time. It is not
Oh.
spoiler time, but we will be talking about our opinions of Deadpool, but shortly thereafter. You're not incorrect. Spoiler time is fast upon us. But I want to get people's overall impressions without spoiling anything for the kids at home. Then we'll go into spoiler territory.
I'm not going to
shall
say
we?
anything until we get into spoilers
Okay.
because my opinion is also heavily based on a lot of.
But
Spoilers.
you could say if you liked
Okay.
it or
No,
not.
no.
Yeah, come on.
I
All right,
can't
no,
do
that's
that.
fine. That's
not
fine.
the way it works.
So tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a 0 to 10 scale.
'Kay.
Okay. Can we start there? Is that okay?
That's perfect.
7.75 out of 10.
Okay. What do you give it?
7.
I'm going to go with a solid 7 as well. You want to give us a number or no? Go on then. Give us a number.
Come on now.
Honestly, I'm going to give it about a 9.
Nice.
Woo! Yes.
No wrong answers. There are reasons I say the things that I do without spoiling it. I loved this movie. I cannot wait to see it again. I've seen it twice in theaters already. It is exciting. It is a reason to go to the movies and enjoy yourself, boy. It was great. Did it meet some of those things that I wanted it to? Not necessarily. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily.
Couldn't have said it better.
This was you don't know what you need when you go to see this movie. Now, my expectations mean absolutely nothing. However, it exceeded my expectations for what this movie is. Some of you in this room and one of you online guaranteed can come out and say that months before this movie came out, I was like, bro, this movie's going to be a crap fest.
In my opinion,
Yep.
just to be clear, the fact that you Rhino give it a 7.75 or whatever the hell it was is surprising because you had built it up to be this like monumental story builder. We're gonna get this and we're gonna get that. And
See, you just kind of
Well,
spoiling.
well, let's not.
I didn't-
do
I
that.
didn't say
No,
anything.
I know. So okay. So
I was just going off
I
of what
think
he was saying. in the
overall,
past.
right? If you're looking for,
Okay, can I clarify to
sure. Yeah, go
Yellow's
ahead.
point? So this is spoiler free, obviously. The reason why I gave it a 7.75 is because Feige stayed true to the trilogy. I felt like he ended the trilogy the way the first two movies started, in the sense that it was a Deadpool movie. I felt like he gave Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds like the thumbs up. I'm like, do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'll write the check. You know what I mean?
Let's just say this, because I feel like we are all definitely itching to get into spoiler territory about this movie. Overall, I feel everyone in the room, and I can speak for Mrs. Alter Ego out there, give it a stamp of approval.
100%.
100%. 100%.
Go see this movie. You will love it.
Enjoyed it for what it was.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Okay. So, guys out there in Alter Ego land, we love you. We're going to go a little long today just to let you know, because we're getting ready to get into spoilers, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about that we can't fit inside of 4 minutes and 30 seconds to make it a round hour. We are going to be going deep and talking about this movie. So, this is your spoiler warning. If you're leaving, we love you. Goodbye. This is your time. We'll give you the 7-6-5-4-3-2-1 spoiler territory, and the Merc with his mouth taped over here. Let's let you kick it off. Let's hear it, Ryan. Mr. 9.
Honestly, because first off, I want to say that I am the person who will admit when I am wrong.
Oh shit!
Starting with the crow.
Before we left, I said that I thought this movie was going to be mid.
Yeah, you did.
And this movie is not mid.
Nope.
And for me, this movie's not mid because of what it did. Like it said, you guys were all, it's going to do this and it's going to do that for everything and tie all this shit in together. And that wasn't what's happened.
Now, I think that is up for a little bit of interpretation, but okay,
for the most
go
part,
ahead.
but it wasn't the point.
Okay.
What I got was a fucking Deadpool movie.
Yep.
With Wolverine. And that's exactly what I fucking wanted.
And the quote that I kind of loved from Ryan Reynolds was, "My movie will not be an advertisement for somebody else's." And I think he stayed true to that.
Yep. And they've all been entertaining to me. And this one even better with all the people in it, the cameos. It's just a great movie.
Yeah.
So just, if I can expound on what Ryan is saying, because I agree with him 100%. He's 100% right. My adaptation of what Ryan is saying is, our expectations, like, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago when we were talking about this movie, was we thought it was going to be something MCU related.
Yeah.
Which it is MCU, but like I was saying a couple minutes ago, Feige looked at Sean Levy and he looked at Ryan Reynolds and said, "Make your movie, I'll write the check." And that's exactly what he did. He allowed this movie to be the Deadpool franchise. It wasn't Iron Man. It wasn't Thor. It wasn't Captain America. It didn't even fit into the MCU scope of what you would expect an MCU movie to be. He allowed it to be Deadpool. It's just getting produced by our studios. And that was the best part of the entire movie, because I was not expecting that. I thought that this movie was going to be Disney-fied big time. And it was allowed to be what you would expect a Deadpool movie to be.
A little Disney-fied.
The only
little Disney-fied.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, a little bit, but it was still a Deadpool movie, right?
Yeah. The disappointment was that they didn't allow him to have cocaine.
I like that he played on that. Like, anything but cocaine, he said. And then just bringing it up.
This movie was definitely MCU with the inclusion of the TVA. And
Sure.
And the budget, the budget alone made it not a Deadpool Fox movie.
But I think that also helped, though.
This being a contained story and as Ryan and Rhino have said, Deadpool 3. It's not MCU Deadpool 1, it's Deadpool 3. And it is a love letter to all of the Fox guys, even though Deadpool looks into a camera and says, "Suck it, Fox, eat my ass," and then headbutts the camera and walks away.
It still felt like an homage to Fox.
It was
they paid their dues. Yeah.
That's the best way to say it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's right there. Yeah, they paid their fucking dues. Not just to the Fox universe that did pave the way, but to other franchises that Marvel is the reason Marvel is here is because of people like that, actually. And there's more to talk about with that. But here's my hot take. This movie is so good because of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
100%.
I will say this. This is including Logan. This is the best Wolverine we ever have gotten in the MCU or in Fox or whatever. I love the story. I love Logan. As far as a movie goes, Logan is perfect. This, however, is the best, most accurate Wolverine I have ever seen on film.
Internal conflict, a dude that does not believe in himself. He had the costume, everything top to bottom about this. He was vicious. He was angry. Like everything top to bottom about him was exactly what you would expect a Wolverine to be.
The movie it's not what you wanted, but it's what you needed from
Right.
Marvel.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. That great
You need-
analogy, Nello.
You needed like comedy. You needed something because this past crap that they've been releasing is bad.
But this was the first
you
ever.
just
Like,
needed refreshment, and
Er-
they just gave it to you.
it always brings me back to a comment from X-Men 2 where they were interviewing Hugh Jackman, and he's like, "Hey, you're gonna see Wolverine really cut loose like you never seen before," and I didn't get that from that.
Nope.
I've never gotten a Wolverine's gonna cut loose.
Only Logan. Logan came close, but even then it was like, you know.
That bus scene, the fight in the bus, where he's just you don't even see what's going on really because of the splatter. But that bus scene is top, at least.
The
top.
minivan scene is pretty good too. I thought that was probably the best fight scene in the
That
movie.
was
Where
that was mine.
They're him fighting
minivan.
when Deadpool, like you could see Deadpool get sad, and he looks Logan right in his eyes, and he goes, "I'm going to fight you now."
Mhm.
And that wasn't comedy. That wasn't sarcasm. That wasn't bullshit that you're used to from Deadpool. That's him saying, "I'm going to try and fuck you up and kill you now." And that's exactly what you got out of him.
Here's the genius, the absolute genius of Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds. They realize in the movie that Deadpool is not the leading man of a Deadpool Wolverine story. He may have had the Deadpool core, he may have had plenty of lines, but make no mistake, Wolverine stole that movie.
I could go
Oh,
watch
1000%.
more of these type spin-off movies with just the two of them. Like even if they have nothing to do with this MCU universe and the new Marvels and Avengers, which I'm pretty sure they will, I would go and continue to pay money to watch these two make another movie, even if it's just another one-off where they even go save another timeline or something along those lines.
See, it's
Well,
funny.
there's already been comments about Deadpool teaming up with Spider-Man now, which if the MCU was smart, they would make that happen because the next best matchup with Deadpool is Spider-Man. Outside of Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Before that, Ryan was gonna say something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say for me it was the opposite. I honestly felt that Deadpool carried the movie. You didn't.
I wouldn't argue that either.
Wolverine didn't talk too much because he's Wolverine. You know what I mean? He's not.
Yeah.
But
But
him
when
being
he
on,
did, it
but his
was
presence and
power.
I mean,
I went to
No.
see this movie with my son, well, both my sons, and like that's one of those things. It always impacts me that way, right? When I go to watch it with one of the kids, there's a scene where Wolverine, you're right, he doesn't talk much, but he eventually lets loose on Deadpool when he calls him God's perfect idiot, and the only fucking problem is nobody can kill you, and that joke's on us. And he was sitting there, and he was just had this really concerned look on his face, and then they start fighting. And they start really like ripping into each other and stabbing each other repeatedly and like killer blows for anybody else. And these two with their healing factors, they're getting back up. And I'm looking at him. He's just really bothered by it. And I go, "Hey, buddy, it's fine. It's not real." You know what I mean? Sometimes I have to remind him of that. And he looks at me and goes, "No, it was that just had to have taken so much for Wolverine to say that. Like that was a lot for him off his chest." And it took me out of my own body and into his shoes to look at the way Wolverine was, because you see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But he's seeing Wolverine saying something to Deadpool and the way that he's saying it. Like he just found out his universe can't be saved. And Deadpool's been fucking with him. And now he's out here doing this.
bro,
and
he made an educated wish.
dude,
But he
And
didn't technically know till the end it couldn't be saved when she was like,
doesn't matter.
You know what I
Deadpool
mean?
still made it seem like we can get it done. You know what I mean? He made promises he couldn't keep.
Educated wishes.
That's right. But it's just like those moments hit really, really hard because
They
you got
did.
to see real Wolverine. That right there, that moment, you need it. He goes, "Why don't you got something to say, mouth? Like fuck you, motherfucker. You just, I'm here for it." And then that's when Wade, you could tell the jokes were gone. You could
Yeah.
tell that Wolverine had spoken up and touched that nerve.
He got to him. Yeah.
And it's one of the only people in the MCU period in any of those movies that's ever been able to truly get to Deadpool.
I want to reiterate that I talked shit about this villain, and I'm going to eat crow. That villain,
Cassandra.
Oh,
was,
Cassandra Nova. Oh,
she played Xavier's twin perfect because she showed sanity of like, oh, I'm not crazy, and then she goes batshit.
Yeah.
And it's just this flip of a switch. I liked how she was like it was creepy to see her hand going into a skull and manipulating things, but then it was also so riveting to see
That was
shit.
sick though. That was so like
hey, that scene where she stole, like she just like pulled the skin off of the Human Torch.
Johnny Storm.
Oh my god!
I'm
That's
also happy
that,
that
first of all, that's
has
the
gone
most
to
brutal
direct
scene.
Captain America. I
One
think
off.
that's a good ending to that whole Human Torch crap with him. He's going to be capped forever now.
Well, let's talk about the premise of this movie, right? Deadpool gets plucked. So this was my major gripe with this movie. Why bring Deadpool out of the universe if you're just going to tell him, hey, your universe is going to be destroyed, yada yada yada. Nobody needs you, blah blah blah. And I kind of on the second time watching it, I watched for reasons not to think that, and it's a kerfuffin. It's a movieism.
Yeah.
What's his name? Paradox looks at him and goes, for whatever reason, the people upstairs want you out of here. And that was a fourth wall thing. That was the TVA's little, hey, the MCU wants you in the 616. That's where you belong. That's a sacred timeline. That's where you're putting you. Other than that, I was like, why did he bring him out here, suit him up, hand him all those weapons, and then tell him, hey, your universe is going to get destroyed? I don't understand that. That was my biggest problem.
I think that question is going to be answered at a later point.
But especially
like I know this movie didn't like push the needle for the overall narrative, but I think the question of why was Deadpool the one to be brought forward, I think that'll be answered in the future.
Well,
Honestly,
I have two things to say about that. But go
I
ahead,
honestly
Ryan.
think it's because one, because he could be manipulated, and then two, because he's the only person who can square up with the Wolverine.
Well, that's the other thing. Why do you give a shit if he can square up with Wolverine?
Yeah, the Wolverine in his universe was already dead.
Because if they use any other superhero, Wolverine would just kill him in that first fight and it'd be over.
But
They had to use somebody who
here's my
doesn't die.
question. Why did it matter? The whole purpose of bringing him here was saying, hey, this universe is dying. Your anchor being is gone. So the universe is gone. You don't need him to fight Wolverine. They didn't ask him to go find another
true.
Wolverine. They said, by the way, your universe is done. We're doing this whole Time Ripper thing and everything's going away.
Well, he thought that when he said that Logan out of that timeline is done. He's such an important character in that
He's
timeline.
the anchor
Yeah.
being.
So he has to go find a Wolverine.
That's Deadpool's interpretation of what is said. That's not what Paradox is telling him.
No, that's not.
Your universe is gone. The reason it's gone is because he's gone. We don't need your universe. That's fine. We're getting rid of it. We want you because the higher ups, the people upstairs, want you for the 616, which we get to see Happy Hogan in the 616 in that conversation, which was incredible.
Insane.
First big cameo. That was the happiest I've been in a long time in a movie theater.
And it was a great cameo too. It wasn't just some like bullshit cameo. It was a great cameo.
Weren't you the chauffeur?
Yeah. I mean, it was just such good banter.
Oh, this is where we're standing up now.
But yes, this is where we stand.
I love when he goes back in. He's like, "Can you go get the car?" And
yeah.
I'm also kind of hungry.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, anchor being. That was the whole premise of this movie. Who is the 616 anchor being, or who was the 616 anchor being?
Wasn't it Tony Stark?
Well, there's no actual mention of it, and there's no like established person. It can't be Tony Stark because he's dead. He's been dead for years.
Right, but even Paradox says it takes thousands of years for that timeline to actually.
Well, I mean, I think they'll establish that, and I think that's one of the many reasons why Deadpool could have been the person that's chosen. Maybe he's chosen to be the anchor being of 616.
I think, well, because they already said that the anchor being can't be replaced, and you will, and obviously they restored the universe at the end, but
you have to.
But they do replace the anchor being with the other Logan, though. That's the thing. Like he becomes the anchor being.
I don't think that was implied.
I don't think that's necessary.
Well, of course it was implied because he
really
didn't die.
Yeah, but they didn't really say who it was after
They didn't
that.
say, and they didn't
But
say why.
But what's her name?
Hunter B.
Yeah, she she was about to arrest Deadpool and Wolverine, and then she doesn't.
Because of
Right?
Deadpool.
because of
Yeah.
Peter.
Peter Pool.
Peter Pool has got more pool than the Deadpool.
Well, Peter
Society.
Pool said, no, he's from here. He's from this timeline. You can't arrest him. He's from here. And she was like, oh, shit. Yeah, he's from this universe. Okay, Wolverine, you got to go. But then she looked and saw that the universe was back. They don't explain why. They don't say, oh, the universe now has a new anchor being. For all we know, Paradox could have been full of shit the whole time.
I wouldn't mind
It's
seeing
Peter Pool.
that
I'm telling you.
the variant of Wolverine when he's on the cross and there's just skulls everywhere.
Oh,
They
by
are-
the way, here's a question. Is there any foreshadowing to Henry Cavill making a cameo in this movie?
I didn't like the way he looked, man.
I thought he
Oh, I
looked,
loved it.
yeah, me
I
too.
didn't. I thought Butcher would look better. I mean, what's his name?
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban would look better. I think Cavill should be a villain. He would be a better villain.
Well, the one villain we wanted him as is already taken. So
Better Doctor Doom. By the way, fun fact: when they do the montage of Wolverines, every single scene that you see is a iconic Wolverine cover. So they got a shot from each one. Him on the cross among
Right.
the bloody skulls. My favorite is Deadpool landing in the skulls and going, "Oh my God, are you okay?"
the claws with the reflection of the Hulk.
The Hulk, yeah.
I like how
Also, a lot of people missed the cover of the newer Secret Wars, the one that came out in like 2015 or 16 with Doctor Doom. There was a cover of that in, when they went to the trash place. What the hell do they call that?
The one
Oh,
where
the Wasteland or the Void.
The Wasteland, yeah.
the Void.
When Wolverine and Deadpool went down to the Void, Wasteland, whatever, there was an old comic book of Secret Wars laying on the ground there.
to the left, the little orange one right as Deadpool landed.
Yep.
I like
um,
the 20th Century Fox sign behind them.
Yes,
As
me
soon
too.
as they-
Oh yeah, so we saw helicopters there, helicarrier there. We saw Thor's old helmet, Cap's old shield. We saw the Red Room from Black Widow was there. The van,
The Doctor Strange ring was obviously with Cassandra Nova.
the sling ring. Let's talk the big cameos in the movie.
I mean,
shall we?
Ant-Man's giant suit and his skull was in this fucking movie.
Oh, it looks like Paul Rudd has aged finally.
Elektra, really cool seeing her. I was like, hey,
I
she was
thought
an
you would
OG.
say it's the other guy because I mean you're pounding for this movie.
Well, I am going by
Remy LeBeau?
order. I'm going in order.
That was my favorite, by the
The
way.
one
Me
that
too.
got the biggest reaction out of my boys was Blade, and mine too.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw Blade, I was like, "It's fucking over, bro. Let's go!"
Just come strutting in.
Yeah,
Ah,
There can be no other Gambit.
He
Did amazing.
Yes,
he
there
did
can.
amazing. I loved it. I want that. I want that. If you're giving me Gambit and even if it's just cameos for 5 minutes, I want that.
In
it
terms
was
don't
big,
want
but
the
it's
look-
going.
in terms of the look and the fight, sure, the abilities. Marvel has done the best job of making people look comic accurate and look good. Gambit was no exempt,
Exception.
but dude, the accent was so
It
bad.
was very
what
bad.
it is.
It was very bad. Yeah, it was very bad.
He switched in between like different types of things. It was
Yeah,
just
Crazy.
Creole the whole
Laura
time.
said the same thing.
My wife said the same thing when she saw. She's like, "Oh my god!" And she's not really big on him. I'm like, "Bro, it's Remy LeBeau. He's a fucking Creole." Like, she's like, "No, he went from like,
Channing Tatum did
Scottish to
great.
something else.
He looked like it, but to me, Channing Tatum runs into the same thing Hemsworth runs into, where people know he's funny, so they go, "Oh, well, let's make him funny," and they don't get as much serious action out of him that they should.
Yeah,
And-
Gambit's not a funny character.
no."
He's not somebody that you look at and laugh at.
He has moments, but he didn't, and the way that he was talking and like his accent being
Loved it.
so thick, I was like, it's hard to take you seriously.
At
Right?
one point, he sounded Jamaican.
My favorite was him drinking the liquor.
I was gonna say that was my favorite Wolverine interaction right there.
And he threw the card and destroyed the bottle, and he just grabbed another one and goes, boo, boo, boo. I was like,
He grabbed it by the
He goes,
bottom of the bottle.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I loved it.
then he
That's my
destroyed the
favorite
bottle
one.
and he goes, boo, boo, boo. Like, oh, got another one, bitch. Fuck you.
Now his even when they fight in the battle, in
Hold on. We're
Ant-Man's.
missing the last one. And in my opinion, the best
X-23.
X23.
Yeah.
She was
know.
amazing.
when
She was
he holds
amazing.
up his hands is like, I am the only Blade or some shit like that.
Oh, that was good.
so
That was good. Oh, and the rocket launcher from the Punisher.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Disney is putting his name out there, and there, dude.
He's
Yeah,
coming.
who's the one who got close to Cassandra? No, a Punisher got close, but I'm like, they are building up Punisher to be a full-on walking arsenal, maximum carnage. I'm so fucking into that.
Yep.
I think that
I'm glad we're getting a new Juggernaut.
He was another one too. We're not getting a new Juggernaut.
They
What are you
killed
talking-
this one.
This one was never an original Juggernaut.
Thank
It wasn't
God.
Vinnie Jones. It was another guy who was willing to put the stuff on. But the one from Deadpool 2, that Juggernaut is the Juggernaut I want. I don't want anybody else but that dude. I'm gonna rip you in half now. That guy.
Yep.
But
No, I kinda-
X-23 showing up, putting the glasses back on and tearing people up, dude. And Reynolds paying homage to her and being respectful. Like, oh, that's her. That's your girl, man. That's the one that you love. That's the one that you died.
That was my favorite line from the movie. Was like you were never the guy.
You're never the
until
guy.
You had to be.
Right. You were always the wrong guy until you weren't.
It was
Yep.
good to see just all those cameos. Even like the secondary characters, you could kind of see they were villains in like other
Like
Fox
Toad and
Fox
all those
movies,
guys.
like Toad playing Toad, and so it was good. It was good. I'm
Even
glad that we
Sabretooth.
didn't get Magneto or Xavier though.
Well, that
I'm glad
breaks-
we didn't though. I'm glad we didn't.
I agree. That breaks the movie to
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
It breaks the movie to have Magneto in there because then you have somebody who can do what Deadpool and Wolverine can
See,
do.
I think the biggest fear we had was them overdoing it with the cameos. The cameos were perfect in this movie because they were people that you were happy to see, but weren't like, oh, really, this guy? Like none of them were overdone. None of them were over the top. They
And
were all
so
perfectly done.
I'm so happy, and that's why my big thing from last week, like what was the big prediction? I was like, I think we see a major Avenger. We did see major Avengers. We saw Thor, we saw Cap, but it was all in
Ant-Man.
MCU stuff.
Oh my god, that's
On
why Thor's
TV.
like, why is Thor holding me?
Why is Thor holding me? And he would just wake up, God of Thunder. And
Well, when he bounced into one, then he was in front of the Hulk.
yeah,
Who was
yeah.
your favorite Deadpool? Out of like all the variants?
Deadpool Prime, not even a discussion.
I like Zen Deadpool.
Canada Pool.
Yeah, the Zen kid. Whoever the guy with the long hair was that he used as a human shield. At the end.
Nice pool.
Yeah, like-
Oh, that was
Pool, whatever.
one of my favorite fucking lines was keep my country's name out of your fucking mouth. And he
Yeah.
throws the sword at him. Yeah.
This was my favorite, and if you're on video land, you'll appreciate this. I can gently tap the fourth wall too. Proposal. It just looks back at him. He's like, "Is that what you think I do, motherfucker?" Oh, so good.
You're gonna survive this.
My
You're
wife-
gonna survive this.
As we're driving back home, my
Getting lit
wife's
up.
like, there's one scene, she's like, I know, I literally watched you physically cringe. And I was like, yep, when he's got the fucking dog just looking him in the mouth. She's like, I can see you just tense, like, oh, why?
It's a
Why
very,
do white
it's
people
a very
do that?
Chevy Chase movie. A very Chevy Chase movie.
How long does it take you to regenerate? What do you mean regenerate?
Yeah, what do you mean regenerate? He's like,
and he just kept holding him there.
my
until he got
favorite
killed.
was Wolverine just calling him out every time. He's like, Johnny, I loved him so much. Yeah, right, dude. You got him killed.
You're committed.
I'm gonna get you over there. And he's like, no, he's not. You're gonna live. No, he's not. You know what I mean? Like Wolverine's like, they're all getting all hyped up to fight, and he's like, you're all gonna fucking die. And he's like, "No."
I like.
was
Read
like-
the room.
This is my Logan, man. This is my Wolverine. That brings me back to my only negative. I'm gonna circle back. Bringing back Robert Downey Jr. I'm not okay with it. They've come out and said, well, Hugh Jackman is not getting recast. We're keeping Hugh for a very long time. There's a couple of
Till
jokes of
he's 90.
till you're 90. I'm like, at some point, can we please not just play on the same old dudes? Can we do it? I mean, because at some point, either you're gonna. So you mean to tell me in this rebooted MCU, when the X-Men haven't even been introduced yet, that we're gonna fly through our time of having Wolverine to Hugh Jackman? We're not gonna have a younger, crazier Henry Cavill Wolverine.
I like the first Wolverine you see where he's like 4 feet tall, because that's what he's supposed to be.
Of course you do.
I love it. The little man
A little
always.
comic accurate.
I
Like
thought it
that.
was good.
No.
And it's funny because as they showed him, you watch him walk in, you're like, no, he can't be comic.
By the way,
accurate.
did anybody
'Cause you're
notice
like-
that Cavill did the arm reload when he punched Deadpool? The thing from Mission Impossible where he reloads
Oh,
his
yeah.
arms. He did
Yeah.
that before he knocked Deadpool into next week. Oh, another thing they did perfectly well. And I was like, fuck it. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you. Finally, perfectly showing how strong Wolverine is and how incredibly like predatory and powerful that dude is. Like we've never seen that, Wolverine hit somebody so hard they've gone through a solid, like
concrete wall. Yeah.
Wall and then fly out the other side. I'm like, there's your Wolverine. That's him.
Yep.
I know.
Wolverine is like Cap. Like he's got that kind of strength.
He really does. Because he's always in 100% peak condition. That's his mutation.
That homage to all the old McAvoys and all those guys from Fox at the end was
beautiful.
Really good. It was beautiful.
Very, very well done. Yeah.
It's Stan Lee. I thought it was good. It's not what you wanted, but it's what you needed.
I agree.
I really like that analogy. That's a good analogy, Noah. Yeah, I like that.
But to me, it's exactly what I wanted.
That's great. That's great.
Cool. Just,
that's
why
why
I want a standalone Deadpool movie that's just Deadpool.
And that's why when I was sitting there, I was like, this movie it may not be hitting certain areas that we had as expectations, but expectations out the window. You can't deny it's a fantastic movie.
Oh,
nope.
Nope. We said we would circle it. I'm sorry. Does this surpass any of your votes as the top 3 trilogy?
Yes, it does. Not at the top.
Yeah.
It doesn't get over the top 3. However, I dropped my phone with my list. It's going in right under Avengers.
I was going to say.
I think I would put it 5. I think I would put it 5.
Put it at 4 too.
I think I'd put it at 2.
I'd put it at 4.
Hold on, I got it. I'm going to get here.
Because you said Avengers was 3, right? You had.
Yeah.
You had.
It's going to go right over Ant-Man. I still like Cap, but Deadpool 1 had boring parts for me.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2 had boring parts. Deadpool 3 was amazing.
Yep.
It's going to jump Ant-Man. Not quite Avengers yet.
4 all day. It chops Guardians for me too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 175 of the Alter Ego podcast. I've been your host, Jack Austin. With me, as always, Brian, Rhino, Nello. Good to have you, boys. We'll see you next week.
Go see the movie.
Go see the movie.
I guess if you already listened to this, you already did.
Go see it
To be
again.
honest, we really didn't spoil it though either.
Go see it again. Everyone dies.